Collectors, thrifters, and savvy shoppers, listen up. Perfectly Picked Games brings you the best board game and toy deals live every week. Join our Whatnot shows on Tuesdays and Fridays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern for limited time auctions you won't find anywhere else. First timer? Use Golden Mojo to take 10% off your first purchase. Fast deals, fun finds, and big savings on Whatnot.
Spooky chasers, hop on in the car with Golden Jay and take a ride down Route 66 as you explore all the haunted and abandoned places left down a road long ghosted. And you never know what hitchhiker might get picked up along the way. So buckle up as we take a haunted trip down 66.
Hello, all of my paranormal freaks out there. It is I, Golden Jay, and I'm taking you on a trip, a haunted trip down 66. Thank you guys for joining me again this week, as we are heading from Chicago to Santa Monica and stopping along the way to check in on all of these haunted places. Hey, don't forget, we are on Patreon. You can go check us out, patreon.com/2sop. You can, we got 3 tiers to choose from. You can just jump on the $3 tier just to show your support. You get a shout out, and I'll send you a poster. Or you can jump on the mid tier. I think it's about $6 a month, and you get a poster, a shout out, and you get to see all the videos that we do. And of course, you know, the $12 tier, the top tier, the Voodoo Vandals, baby. If you join that, you get all that stuff from before, plus you get all the specialty videos that we do. And believe me, we've done some, but we need to do some more. So hang in there. We got more coming. But jump on there on our Patreon, patreon.com/2sop. Also, check out the merch at UnitedStatesParanormal.com. Camptober stuff is still up there. You can find all the other Tobers and, of course, the great merch, including the Great White Bald Beaver and the Celestial Stag, plus a little bit of Parafeet. Gotta love it. All right, guys, we are heading down. We are going to the Coleman Theater. It is a historic performance venue and movie house located on, of course, on 66 in Miami, Oklahoma. It was built in 1929 for George Coleman, a local mining magnate. It has a distinctive Spanish colonial revival exterior and elaborate Louis the 15th interior. They give a little XV to really throw me off there. It was billed as the most elaborate theater between Dallas and Kansas City at the time of its opening, and played host to many acts, musical groups, and movies. It is also listed on the National Registry of Historical Places, and that happened in 1983. Like more than 100 other theaters in the Midwest, it was designed by Bowler Brothers, architectural firm in Kansas City. You know how much I love Kansas City. Of course, it was built by the Rux Bryant Construction Company. But what stood here before the theater may explain some strange occurrences, because the Miller Fribley Funeral Home, which was just next door, was also in that same building, which was stood there before the theater. And when the lights go off, spectators and employees alike have witnessed strange happenings in the building, some of which they've chalked up to being paranormal. One of the employees states, "When it came time to leave, I was out the door before everyone else because I would hear, see, and feel things but didn't know how to explain them. You know, I didn't really know what was going on when somebody said, "That's just a ghost. That's just a presence that's here," or something. The owner even said they've caught a spirit on camera. In a photo, he says there's a certain black spot believed to be the ghostly apparition. Employees even have a saying about working at the theater, and that saying is, you cannot work here very long before you have a ghostly experience. The Coleman Theater joins many others across America with a paranormal history, and the owner has a theory of that. I think human emotions, events, and energy that comes from all of it does imprint itself in the theater. You might see one of these resident ghosts. You may even get a whiff of Bay Rum Cologne, the favorite scent of the ghostly projectionist. The scent is often strong when the tour stops in the projection room to hear about the various sightings in the theater. When you venture backstage, you may even get a glimpse of another resident ghost who is sometimes seen getting ready for a show in one of the old dressing rooms. The Coleman Theater does offer guided ghost tours, and for those who are looking for some entertainment, they still have plenty of shows. So go down, check out the Coleman Theater, catch a show, catch a ghost. Just do it. Just get it done. All right, well, we're going to stay in Oklahoma, but we are going to head down to the Belvidere Mansion in Claremont, Oklahoma. It not only provides a peek of history, but possibly even a peek at a ghost or two. Listed on the National Register of Historical Places, the 3-story mansion was built by John Bayliss. He started it in 1902. And Bayliss, who was instrumental in building the Cassville and Western Railroad in Arkansas and Oklahoma, moved his family to the Indian Territory from Cassville, Missouri in 1901. The following year, he built the castle-like mansion for his wife, Mary Melissa Bayliss, and his 7 children. Belvidere was successful in the railroad business, banking, and in land development. The Gothic-style brick home, complete with tile roof and 4 towers, provided an entrance on the north side for the guest carriages and large covered porch at the front entrance with a matching balcony directly above it. The floors were covered in tile, a wainscot marble walls, and pressed tin ceiling. Sliding pocket doors were used in several rooms, and many had fireplaces. Much of the trim and woodwork used was brought from the 1904 World's Fair in St. Louis. The mansion's third floor was dedicated the mansion's third floor was dedicated to a 2,400 square foot ballroom. That is probably one of the most interesting pieces. I know I watched a video and they showed the ballroom, and they still rent it out today, I do believe. So you can go there and rent out for whatever you want to do, whether it be a wedding reception or something like that. But it's still pretty cool. Due to the immaculate details, the mansion took several years to build. At the same time, Bayliss was also building a 3-story opera house, the Sequoia Hotel, and an athletic building with an indoor swimming pool. However, Mr. Bayliss would never see the completion of the Grand Mansion. In 1907, just 6 months before it was completed, Bayliss died following an operation for appendicitis. At his death, he was president of the Bank of Claremore. Mary Bayless and her 6 surviving children finished the mansion after his death and resided there until 1919. Her children resided in Claymore, with her older son becoming involved in the Bank of Claymore. Another became the local postmaster, and yet another became a state supreme judge. The building then changed hands several times, and in the 1930s was sold to an inventor who turned it into investor. He turned it into apartments, just like other historical structures that became rentals. The mansion deteriorated over the years until the Rogers County Historical Society purchased it in 1991. Today, the beautiful old building has been restored to its former glory and is fitted with period furnishings. The mansion is open for tours and available for special events, which I said that a bit ago. Of the buildings that Belvidere built, only the mansion remains. Over the years, numerous people have reported that John Bayless and other family members continue to reside in the beautiful old home. These allegations tell of unexplained noises, actual sightings of shadowy figures, toilets that flush themselves, hot and cold spots, and the feeling of being touched by someone when no one is there. On several occasions, paranormal groups have investigated the old mansion, seemingly finding the most paranormal activity to be on the second floor. Their psychics have seen children playing, as well as meeting a distressed John Bayless and a troubled young woman who allegedly committed suicide when she lived in the building as a tenant in the 1940s. One of the best stories that I heard is that people that were coming into the mansion either to eat at the Pink House, which is a little restaurant I do believe on the main floor, or to visit the museum, were greeted at the front door by an unknown guest, or an unknown gentleman, I'm sorry. And you just welcome. I don't know that he actually said anything, but it was just like this guy standing there, and they were like, "Oh, hey," and they walked on in. But when they got inside of the mansion and they looked on the wall, the man that greeted him was none other than John Bayless himself. And this is not one of those stories where it was one person that reported this. There were several people that reported it in the videos that I saw, that I had watched on the Belvidere mansion. But I just thought it was crazy. He's still there greeting people to come into the house and hang out. But the Pink House is the restaurant in the bottom of this thing. I thought that was an interesting name for a restaurant. It was a little weird, but whatever works. I did find one personal experience. This is Annie Asylum. That's a hell of a name. Belvidere Mansion in Claymore. My father had his wedding reception there back in September. My brother snapped a few pictures and was able to capture some interesting things around the house. The most compelling is a strange figure in the upstairs window. There you go. I didn't see that picture. I couldn't find a copy of it, but there you go. They're out there. Maybe not on the internet, but somebody's got a picture, got a Polaroid or some shit of that stuff. So there you go. All right, guys. I know a couple short ones there. This, paranormal stuff that happens in these little places along the way. You got to love it. But a little bit of history on Belvidere, a little bit of history on the Coleman Theater. And we are going to continue down Route 66. So you guys hang in there. We're going down to the next place we're going to is pretty special. And I'll tell you the backstory on this when we get into the story next week. All right. Until then, guys, keep it spooky. And I'll see you on the other side. Thank you for listening to the United States of Paranormal podcast. check us out at theunitedstatesofparanormal.com, where you can find our Spotlight of the Month, Fan of the Month, and all of our amazing merchandise. Or you can find us on social media at Facebook at the United States of Paranormal, Instagram at the United States of Paranormal, and YouTube at the United States of Paranormal 1795. And don't forget, we are now on Patreon. Just go to patreon.com/2sop.
Please check out the other podcasts in the Golden Mojo Entertainment Network of podcasts. Golden 80s, Indiana Chiefs Fans, Gridiron Kings, Murd Nerds, The Nostalgia Tug, Real Terror, and the Puck Yeah podcast. But you can still find Golden Image Podcast, A Quart of Books and Booze, and The Call Guys, wherever you stream your favorite podcasts.
And if you have a location or a story that you would like for us to check into, please email us at theunitedstatesofparanormal@gmail.com. Please like, rate, and subscribe wherever you listen. Thank you for all of your support. Bye.